Welcome back, everyone, to our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager. So we're here in the Endurance DLC and having quite a bit of fun with this. I've made quite a few mistakes, but overall, I have got to say it has been a lot of fun just to try out some different things. I like the new additions to the game that the Endurance DLC brings, you know, multiple drivers per car and driver stamina, all sorts of things like that. It gives you a lot more options, and as I'm a huge fan of saying in really all of our Let's Play series that we do here on the channel, the more options the developers give us, the more I like it. Even if I don't necessarily use them wisely, it's still tons and tons of fun to play around with those. So let's go ahead and get started with our video with the mail. Let's go ahead and get through most of those we don't necessarily care about. Once again, actually this one was a good bit less this time on the condition drop, but we're still somewhere around 50% overall in general. Let's see, let's get our question. Let's see, so okay, one of the other teams had a bit of a disaster in that race, finishing down in 9th. What's your analysis? So they want me to badmouth a driver potentially here, and yeah, no reason to do that. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to do that. It's not a good idea. All right, so pit stop, not going to worry about that again. Things kind of are what they are with the pits right now. Let's see what we got on this. So we got Laura. She would not be one of the better drivers. Potential is good. All right, let's see what we've got. Okay, so marketability is terrible. Not horrible here on the stamina. The red zone is a little bit bigger than I would prefer, but overall not terrible. The biggest thing here would be, you know, I love the smoothness. I love the overtaking. Fitness is good. You know, some of these are fairly good, but the actual skills that get you around the track very quickly are not. Consistency, braking, cornering, none of those are good. She is a pay driver, so that's good. 232,000 is a very nice payday, but that is not going to help us out long term. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the pit crew and see who needs a break. I see a couple of guys here at the top with the Jackmen need a break. Actually, we could use a break for several of these folks. All right, so let's see what we got, and let's swap some of these folks out. Let's see who would be really good on the Jack. Let's see if we have anybody that we could really put in. All right, refueling and the tires. This would be good to swap out on the rear tires, which is going to be these two guys. Okay, so it looks like we're about the same there as far as how much they've lost. Trying to keep these guys as fresh as I can, but that is going to be an issue. Let's go ahead and swap out again there. So refueling gets a lot better whenever you have 10s there compared to, you know, 3s, 4s, or 5s. All right, let's see who we've got. Come on, scroll down for me. There we go. So nobody down there. And I'm not really looking to hire anybody else right now. Let's see. Okay, looks like that's going to be about it, realistically, that I can easily. We're going to swap out on the front jack. So let's swap them out. What about the rear jack? Do I have anybody that I can put in there? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I can put. Okay, unfortunately, that's about all I can do for the time being, and we'll keep looking at it one race at a time. This is one of the parts of the game I'm not really understanding. I don't understand how you have one race a month and your pit crew are worn out. I don't get that at all. But let's go ahead and get rid of this one icon. Okay, I mean, obviously I do like a lot of what I see here, but no reason to hire anybody. I do know that we have, under sponsors, we have one opportunity here for some sponsorship, and really what we're looking for here is going to be upfront money. Because at this point, we're not going to make it to the end of the year with this amount of money. I mean, we're losing right at 1.5 million per race. 3 more races, I believe, is what we have. And you can see the math just doesn't work out there. So we're going to hope for some upfront money, but we'll see. We'll see what we get, if anything. All right, so it looks like Petra is, okay, she got a marketability boost there. And also, wow, got another one because not only is she trying to be in movies, she's trying to, oh, never mind, different, that's Carolyn there. All right, so we got a nice marketability boost, which should help out with sponsorship. Okay, you can see we've got one offer in there. We'll let that ride for a while. We got plenty of time, 23 more days before our next race. Okay, so we're doing great on durability, on all these things. Our reliability numbers are really good. Not that we couldn't use some improvement on some of these, but I think what I want to do now is really try to work on this brake package, our newest brake package, and try to get it up as far as we can before this next race. We should be able to get it up a good bit. And it's not going to be quite fully there, but I think we can get it a good bit of the way. All right, so we got a couple of scouting reports. I definitely want to see those. All right, first one, let's see, weakest driver. Okay, that's definitely not what we wanted to see. And below average driver. Okay. Yikes. So no marketability. Stamina's pretty good. Overall, not bad on the driving. You know, kind of an overall decent driver. The marketability kills this, unfortunately. Okay, well, decent marketability, comparatively speaking. All right, not good on, yeah, just not good overall. You can see quite a bit of future potential here at 17 years old. Quite a bit of potential, but overall, just not what we're looking for. Not that we're really in the market for any more drivers right now. We just don't have the money for it. Okay, so we got birthday party, and they're going to want me to spend some money. Yes. Yeah, they want us to spend 100 grand. We're not spending that. All right, still just one sponsorship opportunity. Hopefully we'll get some more over the next few days. Okay, looks like we got a vote coming up. And okay, we get back to, let's see, let's get through some of the rest of these emails first before we go to that. All right, so just to let us know, yes, we're on target to finish last, and that's what we said we would do. So, yeah, we're doing great there. All right, report on the upcoming race. We're not going to look at that. Acceleration, yes. Everything is pretty much the worst on the grid except for the tires. I mean, excuse me, the brakes, rather. Can we get one in development? Yes. If you fund it, then we will make it. All right, and here we go. I'm extremely concerned about the status of our team's finances. Yeah, you and me both. There's still a long way to go, and yes, we got it. So I always love when financial people say this to racers. You need to make the money last, but oh, by the way, I need you to win. You know, that kind of stuff. Sure, it's the easiest thing in the world to do. I don't know why everybody doesn't do it. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, pay driver. I like that. And wow, look at here, 17 and 17. That is very nice. Stamina, not bad. Not bad. I mean, it's not the best we've seen, but also not the worst. Uses less fuel, like that. And then, of course, pay driver is hard to beat. The only bad thing is marketability is still pretty low, and ultimately, whenever we start to get serious about this, it's going to have to be some higher marketability, because otherwise we're not going to get any sponsorship worth having. All right, so we got 3 more days. We might have to go with the couple of sponsors we got, but we'll give it a little bit more time and see if maybe another one will pop in. All right, so we got a new vote. So it's all about tires. Let's go ahead and get that started. So the new tires would not be the fastest, but they are the cheapest, so this is a cost-saving move. Okay, so it will not benefit teams with high budgets. Well, we're not really a high-budget team. We're just spending way more money than we should right now. So let's go ahead. I actually don't care on this one, so I'll go ahead and abstain from this one. and let them do whatever they're going to do. And let's see. Nope. Looks like more people were looking for performance rather than to try to save some money. All right, it's about time to pick a sponsor. I know we could let this keep going until we get a final one, but I'm not really interested in that. Let's see. Any upfront money? No. There is none for that. So for that reason, I'm just going to let this go ahead for at least a little bit, because, I mean, 100 grand isn't going to help our case, and we're not going to be finished in first place anytime soon to have to worry about it anyway. So let's go ahead and get prepared for our next race. Once again, I'll choose this one because the other option really doesn't give us any money. Okay, so if we could get this both in qualifying and the race, then it would help our finances substantially, but still going to be hard to do. Now, for this particular race, you notice I haven't spent any time worrying about which parts are crucial and all that kind of stuff, and that's because we simply don't have the performance to really worry about it anyway. I do see that there's rain for the first 2 sessions of the weekend, but the race looks good for dry weather. Looks like we're going to have some tire wear and a lot of fuel burn, so this could be interesting. But you can see we are ready for, looks like this is going to be round 6, so we have 4 more races counting this one. Yikes, we're even shorter on money than I thought. So on this track, let's see, tire wear is medium, which is kind of risky to go ultra softs, but hey, we'll see what happens. I do want to try out a different strategy, but I don't know that this is going to be necessarily the race to do it. All right, let's look at probably something like that. Yeah, somewhere along in here, more of the softest tires for the group that doesn't have the stamina to really do longer runs. Let's see where we are in our parts. Okay, so we made it to 102. Not bad at all. So we picked up about 40 roughly points of performance there. So I really like that quite a bit. And everything else looks like we should be in really good shape. Okay, we'll see what we've got. Let's go ahead and head to the racetrack. All right, now that practice and qualifying are out of the way, let's go ahead and get this race started. And as you might guess, we are starting at the back of the field. I think something like 22nd and 24th, 21st and 24th, somewhere in that range. So we're at the back. And so our bonuses here on knowledge, I am not using the engine expert this time. I just don't feel like running that engine as hard as we were. I think it was using more fuel than we were getting benefit from it, so I'm not going to use that, and instead I'm going to go for the tire bonus. So we didn't quite have enough time in practice to get the full level 3 bonuses, so we're going to get a tire bonus and a race trim bonus. Setups, both of them were okay. This car 2 setup didn't come out quite as nice as I would have wanted to, but overall not too bad. So we're going to start with our number 1 drivers. Let's see, so we got super soft tires, and there's good and bad here. I can't quite stretch the ultra softs as far as I would like to, but there's not enough fuel to stretch the ultra softs. But the super softs, I don't quite have enough fuel to get done what I want to get done. But either way, I think we're going to be looking after the tire heat more than anything in this race. So again, we'll just have to see how it goes. So let's take a look. Tire choice here is somewhere around 50 minutes. But again, we'll see how it goes, because tire heat, I do believe, is going to be an issue before it's all said and done. And then, of course, on fuel, we're going to fill it up because Anderson has a great amount of stamina. All right, let's go ahead and continue on through. All right, let's get our camera all loaded up about where we want it. Okay, so you can see there's soft tires here, and then we've got some super softs. We got a lot of things going on. So it looks like a lot of teams going for the most durable tire. That may actually be for tire heat reasons as much as anything in this race, but we're about to find out how it's all going to play out. Okay, we'll come around, and here we go, green flag. Okay, so we're going to be using level 3 on the engine, not level 4. So we're trying to save a little bit of fuel here. And so we're going to leave this in 3D mode for a while. We'll see how my eyes can deal with it, with everything moving this fast, plus trying to keep up with everything that's going on. I don't see any weather in the immediate forecast, but I have to retrain my brain. These longer races, the intervals on here are 45 minutes apart, so it's a little bit longer intervals than I'm used to, so I'm going to have to keep that in mind. All right, so here's where I was talking about with the tire heat. You can see we're not pushing, and already our tires are warming up quite substantially, so I'm going to go ahead and try to back that off just a little bit. I'll tell you what, let's leave. Yeah, that's getting right on up there, so let's go ahead and back off a little bit. Trying to keep an eye on the weather as much as I can remember to do. So we'll let these tires cool down some. And then once we're trying to keep them somewhere around the midline, more or less, without allowing them to get too warm. Alright, so they've cooled down right around that midline on both cars. We'll see if it goes much lower than that. And of course, by moving down to the green, as far as the driver's side of pushing things, then that's going to make our stamina last quite a while, actually. So we should be in really good shape as far as that goes. But again, we'll see how it all turns out. So I like where the tire temperatures are at right now. Unfortunately, we're not making up any spots on the track. It would be nice if we had enough speed to do that. All right, wow. You already see that the A-Class cars are making their way through, and we're not very far into the race. We're 20 minutes into the race, and these guys are blindingly fast. All right, let's go ahead and move up a little bit to neutral. But we won't do that for very long because we don't want to overheat these tires. All right, so we're now 25 minutes in, tires heating back up again. Some of this we might be able to help out as we design our new car for next season, but we'll see how it goes. We're not going to have a whole lot of money to put toward that. But that is one of the things that you can help out with the tire heating abilities of the chassis. So realistically, if we had any speed in these cars, we're using a softer tire than basically everyone for about 5 cars in front of us. So we should be able to pass them, but unfortunately that's just where we are in our first year. We just don't have the speed in the cars, but that changes if we can manage to have enough money to make it into year number 2. We'll have a nice amount of money coming at the end of the year, and we can start to build. This is definitely a long-term project, or at least the way I play it. It's more of a long-term deal, and so we're not too worried about how things are going here in year 1. Okay, stamina is looking great. We're 40 minutes in, and we still have quite a bit of stamina left with both drivers. All right, let's let them go back to neutral here for a little bit. Okay, we'll see how folks do. Yeah, just not able to make any passes. I mean, we're right here with, if you look, I mean, 28, 29 seconds. I mean, you can see we're not terribly far off from really anybody from 18th on back, really even 17th on back. We're not that far off. It's just we don't quite have, what we need. All right, tires are getting a little bit too warm. Okay. We're down to 30% on the tires for Carolyn. You can see we're still at 41 here on car number 1. So we're in good shape on car number 1, not necessarily on car number 2. So we're definitely going to be looking at our first pit stop with car number 2. But hard to argue too much with, we're here at 53 minutes in, and a really good first stint for Carolyn with regards to the longevity and the tire wear, all that kind of thing. Okay, now it's time for our first pit stop here. Tell you what, we're going to try to go. Let's go with Rico, and we're going to go some ultra softs. We're going to try. That's going to give us at most about 40 minutes. I don't think we're going to quite get that much out of it. But on fuel, we need to have about. This is pretty good. That's probably a little bit more, but let's be a little optimistic here that we're going to be able to get some more laps out of these tires than what we were expecting. All right, so really happy with the tire wear on car number 1. This is really good for them. Let's watch our pit stop, make sure how things are going. Okay, no mistakes that I saw. So it looks like we're in good shape there. We'll continue to watch. All right, we've moved up to 18th. Of course, that's purely about pit stop cycles. Okay, running low on fuel. I don't want to run out or risk running out. So let's go ahead and queue up driver number 2. Okay, and boy, I would really like to use these ultra softs, but I think it's going to force us to make too many pit stops. All right, 36 to 38 laps, which means that essentially filling up is about what we need. All right, park conditions shouldn't be any immediate issues there, and it doesn't look like there is. So let's go ahead, queue up that pit stop. All right, hopefully no mistakes. Just need everybody to be solid. Okay, so far so good. All right, no mistakes. And we're back out and moving on. You can see we're about 10, 11 seconds out from where we really need to be. Okay, now it starts to even out just a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and keep an eye on these tire temps. We were getting a little bit low on the tire temps on car number 2, so we'll try to bring that up a little bit. Okay, car number 1 looking pretty good. All right, still no water on the track, at least in the immediate future. Okay, go back up to neutral on car 1. We need to back it down on car 2. All right, so now you can see the speed taking effect. We're just not able to stay as close with these guys as we need to. Okay, let's go ahead and switch back to conserve. Okay, still not seeing any water in the forecast. That's a good thing. Although, if you play the strategy just right and the timing, you can really make up some spots with that. Because right now, actually, we could use that because just on speed, we just don't have it. I mean, when you're on ultra softs and you're having a hard time catching the guys in front of you that are on tires that are two stages less on speed, that is not good. Okay, we need to pick up 21st here. We're at least in position for that. All right, let's look at our tire temps. A little bit low on car 2. We'll try to bring it up. Trying to also manage that tire wear as much as we can, because we got plenty of fuel, but we're definitely going to run out of tire here on car number 2 before we run out of fuel. All right, let's bring it back down and move over to car number 1 for a moment. All right, looks like we might get some rain. You can see just a hint at the distant future of some rain. It's not a whole lot of what we can see, but we'll keep an eye out for that. Like I said, strategy is really our only opportunity that we're going to be able to move forward. That or simply try to make fewer pit stops, something along those lines. All right, we see the rain starting to come in. Okay, that might actually coincide pretty good. Oops. Almost messed around and forgot about car number 1 and their tire heat. Alright, actually our car number 2 pit stop is going to happen before this rain gets here, maybe. The timing is going to be close. The timing is going to be really close. The tires are actually going to be worn. Wow, so it's not going to be... I'm trying to keep it as on the green on car number 2 because I'm really trying to let these tires last long enough for me to see what's going to happen. Okay, yes, stamina. Again, I'm trying to see. Right now, there's not enough there to put on the different tires. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to have to. We're running out of stamina, tires, and everything else. So let's go ahead and... For tire choice, let's go ahead and put on another set of Ultra Softs. And so let's go about, I think that's going to be about right. No, wait, never mind. I was way over on that. So about 20. So about 24, roughly, is about what I want. And that's assuming, of course, that we don't have to come back in and put on rain tires. That's not enough where it is right now to make us come back in, but you just never know. Okay, so Romano was able to make it for 48, 49 minutes, so that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. He managed a pretty good stint. All right, so here comes the rain here momentarily, and we'll just see how bad it gets. Alright, tire wear and temp look pretty good. Okay, keep an eye on this weather. This is going to be the big key for us. Okay, I see one driver at the back. One team's already put on intermediates, which is definitely not the tire you want right now, but they're planning on the future. Okay, so we're starting to get warnings on car number 1 about tires and about fuel here momentarily. All right, I'm still not seeing quite enough. Man, this is really close. Really, really close as to whether or not to put on inters. Alright, so tire and fuel is wearing down on one. Oh, let's hop over, go back to neutral. I may split up the strategy with this. We've already got dry weather tires on one of our cars. I may go and put inters on the other car, because if we look at the tire choice and you look at under optimal scenario, you can see, I mean, you have to get on up into the wet, and of course for full wets it needs to be way up there on the dampness scale. But this is sort of right at that point. So what would be good to know, let's go ahead and cancel out of this for just a moment to see what the others are doing. This would be a good opportunity. I see inters on some of these guys. Of course, we've already got one driver with dries on there. If these guys stay on dries, realistically, if we want to try to play the game, then what we would need to do is put on inters and sort of do the opposite of them, because we can't beat them on all-out speed. But right now, they have not shown their hand just yet. So I think I'm going to go ahead. Let's do inters and just split up the strategy. Let's go Kurt. Really don't want to, though. I am so close on this one because it's going to be right at the bottom edge of that. But let's go ahead. Let's split up the strategy. And let's see. Let's go ahead and fill him up, I think. Yeah, let's fill him up. We don't know how long it's going to take for this rain to get here and then stay. Okay, looks like everything is done. All right, let's go. And we'll see how it works out. Yeah, this should be interesting for the strategy here because, boy, this is right on the edge. All right, let's go ahead and start out in neutral. And, all right, we'll back off a little bit. All right, let's just see which one. We come out 20th and 21st as of right now. And if nothing else, if it'll just sort of stay in this area of dampness, then we could be okay. You see it's starting to go down a little bit. And of course we've got one more pit stop to make for car number 2. Not for car number 1 if, let's go ahead and back down on that one. Not for car number 1 if the wetness stays about where it is and we can go with entrance. All right, so now we have the only car on dry weather tires on the track. All right, so now we know. You can see it's really falling off hard. Oh, we've got condition issues too. Yikes, that is really falling off hard. Okay, so we're going to have to come in. Let's see, can we make our final pit stop now is going to be the question. So we got 40 minutes left. And, ooh, that is right on the edge. All right, let's take the chance. We might as well. We don't really have anything to lose at this point. Because we need to make some repairs or we may not make it much farther. But I'll tell you what, not just yet. We need to risk it for a couple more laps. We're probably already out of it realistically anyway with this car based on the strategy. But I need to try to get the time down so that I can put Carolyn back in. And once again, we're kind of caught in no man's land with this weather. So this one is not going to work out for car number 2. Let's see, we got 40 minutes left, which would be about probably 30. Let's go ahead and put too much fuel in it rather than, hopefully, rather than too little. And we need to make one repair. Okay, we'll have to remember that. And maybe work on some reliability there. Okay, so it's down to car 1 now. And do we come back in for the end of this race and put on some dry weather tires? That's going to be another interesting thing. Is there going to be enough time, if the weather goes that way, to make it worth the time for the pit stop when you factor that in? And of course, nobody knows right now. We're going to have enough fuel to make it. Oops, need to get back going on our tire temps. Yeah, you can see the dampness is going to be leaving. Doesn't look like we're going to have any grip that's going to come back in the track before the end of the race, which is where the dry weather tires would really shine. But yeah, this is going to be fun. 30 minutes left. It's definitely drying out toward the end of the race. But will it be worth it? Okay, we're up to 18th, which is really good. And you can see here, I mean, we're not, we definitely are not out of 17th, out of contention for that. And I would argue 15th and 16th aren't that far down the road. They're about 10 seconds down the road from us at most, so not bad. Okay, yeah, Carolyn Anderson is getting really high on the drive time. She's going to be close to her limit. All right, so the question is, we got about 20 minutes left in this race. Does anybody come in and put on dry weather tires? The grip would indicate there's just no grip on the track at all. So that would be a tough one. That would be a very tough one. But I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and do it with this car. No reason not to. All right, let's go ultras. and shouldn't need any fuel or anything. Okay, let's just go tires only. You can see it's going to be a long pit stop though. Alright, looks like a pretty good pit stop. Again, that is such a long time once you factor in the delta to get on and off pit road, plus the pit stop itself. That is a long time to be driving slow. So I think I'm going to take our chances here with the inters for the last 13 minutes. I mean, I don't see any way around it. This is our only shot, I think, anyway. All right, you can see, wow, we are losing huge amounts of time. Okay, never mind. That has to do with, yeah, that has to do with, wow. This is, I have not seen this before. This must have been in an update to the game, so I am definitely learning something new here. I have not seen anything quite like that type of fall off from the tires. Yeah, that's huge. All right, so you live and you learn. Took a shot at it there, and it's not going to work out. Not really going to hurt us any. It was our best shot, I think, to save that pit stop time to stay on the tires. But, like I said, sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. And, all right, so we'll come down to the end of the race, and we'll come home exactly where our speed would say that we should be. Alright, so once again, strategy does not work out as I was hoping. So it must have been somebody fell out, apparently, because there should be 24 cars here. So I'm not sure why we're not seeing that on the screen, but alright, so we're learning. That's what the season is all about. Now, in the past, I know when I was playing this game, we could have gotten by with inters. Now, granted, we would have been slower, but the pit time with only 20 minutes left in the race would not have been that much slower. Not based on what I've seen before, but so some updates apparently have changed things. All right, let's move on through to our final few screens. Boy, I can't wait till we got some speed in these cars. Then it's going to get really fun. Rather than having to take Hail Mary chances for a good finishing position, then we can really work some strategy to see if we can get better finishes. Podium finishes. Okay, so again, driver morale, doing great. Relationship with mechanic. You can see increasing a little bit. Still not wonderful. And of course, this is a big deal whenever you're trying to get mechanic bonuses. We don't really have a whole lot of that to deal with right now because we haven't replaced our mechanics, and our mechanics really aren't very good. Okay, so you can see our money go down even lower, so we're down to 1.9, so we don't have very much money left at this point. You can see enough left for one more race. So we're going to keep an eye out for some money coming in from sponsors. If we don't get it, in all likelihood, we're going to be restarting this thing. But that's no big deal. Oh, our next race is going to be finally a race in the U.S. So we're going to be going to Phoenix and the Roval. Or at least I think it's going to be the Roval. It actually could be the Oval itself. I've seen that in the past. So we'll see how it goes, but that'll do it for now. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more of our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager.